Welcome back, dear viewers. So horses have been a central part of her life for decades. Before specializing in equine nutrition, she was actively involved in training race horses, which gave me valuable practical insights into the relationship between feeding, health, performance, and management. For more than 26 years, she has rather worked as an equine nutritionist throughout the Middle East, particularly in Kuwait. Regularly visits stables, monitor horses' weight and body condition, and develop individualized feeding programs adapted to each horse's specific needs. Let's welcome Astrid Poirier, engineer in agriculture techniques and animal production. Welcome to Good Morning Kuwait, Ms. Astrid.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
So, what does an equine nutritionist actually do?
Basically, we are going into stables and we have a look at the horses first. We are establishing their gastric health, what they do as a training, the workload, the discipline, the body weight, body condition score. And then we go back on the whole feeding, what they receive, like hay, supplements or concentrated feeds. And we are calculating basically if there's any excess of feeding deficiencies, if the horses are needing more extra nutrition because they're doing higher performance. So basically it's like a little bit an accountant who is doing the accounting for the stable for the horses.
So you mentioned weight or weight more than one time. Mm-hmm. So why is the horse weight is important?
Basically you cannot calculate the feeding of a horse or the feeding plan of a horse without taking its weight, because most of the feeding is based on the weight of the horses, like medication is the same. So if I have not the idea how much the horse is weighing by a concrete scale, or when we use the scale to estimate or take the weight, then I cannot calculate the diet correctly. And this is the same thing for medication, for warmers, this kind of different supplements which are used on the horse. So we have to take the weight basically monthly, and then we see also if there's any changements in the weight, sudden drops, for example. We can see if there's any sickness or parasite load very much faster. While only by vision you cannot estimate the weight of a horse. It's just impossible, because it's surprisingly wrong often what owners think what the horse is weighing.
So it's a precise operation.
It's a precise operation, yeah.
And needs continuous improvement or monitoring, let's say.
Monitoring, yes.
How do you create an individualized feeding plan for a horse?
Basically what I do is I take these parameters, like I said before, you know, the horse breed, the discipline, the weight, the workload, what it is eating in the current situation, like and establish a current situation feeding plan, and then I'm comparing this by calculation to the scientifically requirements which are existing for horses. There is tables which were created over years, what exactly they need in terms of protein, fiber, minerals, vitamins, energy intake. And then we compare basically what it is receiving and what it should receive, and we see if there's any excess or if there's any deficiencies.
What if the horse have a health problem, let's say, or a problem in absorbing the minerals or the vitamins? Mm-hmm. What do you do in this condition?
I mean, health problems, like, we have to leave aside. I'm not a vet. I have to make a clear difference. But when I see, for example, in the diet that there is a nutritional deficiency, then I'm basically adapting the feeding program by choosing the right supplements. And there we come to the point that we have many people all over the world. It's not only in the Middle East, but it's a little bit more difficult in the Middle East, the feeding, who are basically feeding many supplement mixed, and who are coming in a level where they are stocking up too much nutrients. And the problem of the nutrients is that some nutrients, they have a very narrow value of toxicity. We have some minerals when we have already a little excess, it can be toxic already for the horse, or it can even block other nutrients from being absorbed. So what I do is basically to adapt this by the right supplements, and often I see here that they are taking like 5 or 6 supplements, and it's like overlapping nutrients until an excess or even until a deficiency, because they are blocking other nutrients from being absorbed.
So as a nutritionist, let's say you convert the problem to a doctor or a vet.
If I find a problem, yes, if I, for example, suspect there is a gastric ulcer, there is an internal problem, I'm converting this, I'm sending the people to the veterinarians. We are working very close together.
Exactly. Are horses in Kuwait commonly underfed or overfed with nutrients?
Basically, surprisingly, both.
How so?
And you can even find both in the same horse, because people are going again by vision, and the horses are very fat. For many horses, they are in a good condition, and they think the horses are in good condition, but they didn't calculate and see that there is, for example, a deficiency of vitamin E or a deficiency of zinc, which is not really visible. So they are giving enough energy, means in form of starch, sugar or fat, but they are not giving enough trace minerals, for example, in zinc or copper, iron is then deficient.
So the same horse can have the 2 problems?
Yes, can have the 2 problems, yes.
Of course, in 2 different periods, am I right?
No, in the same time.
How
in the
so?
same time.
Okay.
Because they are feeding enough energy, so they are creating fat, but they have perhaps a deficiency in vitamin E or a deficiency in zinc, which can have on a longer term an influence on the immune system or on the fertility. This kind of problems are appearing after.
Can horse owners know whether their horse needs a supplement without calculating the ration?
No, honestly not. If you look at a horse, it can look very healthy and shiny, and still when I calculate, I will find that, for example, there is any deficiency in a certain vitamin or mineral, or there is a deficiency in fiber, while a horse with, for example, a poor coat, poor hair, can be still in a perfect situation, but there's other underlying causes which then has to be cleared with the veterinary, for example, if there's anything internal causing problems.
Ms. Astrid, how can a scientifically balanced feeding plan actually save money?
Often more is not better. And this is the problem that many people think, okay, we have to do the most expensive feeding, or we have to do the many supplements, then I'm covering all. And if I'm calculating, I see basically if they are feeding in excess. So if you're buying every month 5 supplements, but you don't need them, it's a lot of money. So we can basically come back to a little bit more simplified feeding, and in the same time save the money. Or we can also use, for example, a little bit more expensive supplements, but less in the same time. So your whole feeding budget, what you have to spend in a month, is also going down. So most of the time, more expensive feed, where you have to feed less, is basically cheaper than a cheap feed where you have to feed much more, because you are coming in a much higher budget.
So let's say the balance way of feeding a horse is not about giving more rather than balancing, or sometimes less.
Yes, yeah, sometimes less is much more at the end.
How important is management and its relation with horses?
Basically, the problem is also that horses are having a very small stomach, so they have to eat 14 to 18 hours a day. Something very difficult to realize in the Middle East, because we don't have green fields where they can eat. And also this is not always the best to let them eat in our today's management, even in Europe, 14 to 18 hours a day. And the problem is that you should provide many small meals, like every 4 hours, because horses are having a problem that they create very quickly gastric ulcers if they are not receiving all 4 hours an amount of feed, a certain amount of feed, especially during the night. So people have to start to manage their feeding schedules according to this situation around the horse, not only morning and evening, like perhaps we can do, we don't have problems. No, they have to do a continuous feeding throughout the day or before riding. There is many different basically things you have to consider when you are keeping a horse in a stable situation.
How important is turnout, and should horses spend most times in stables?
No. Unfortunately, this is very difficult to realize here because we have the hot climate, and horses should be turned out normally much more hours in a day than they do actually. Here many horses are long time stabled due to the hot weather, so people try to more turn them out during the whole night, or to do the work out for the horses in the night, and during the day they are stabled. But it would be better if we could have more, and I see a lot of people here trying new stabling systems, where the horses have much more turnout during the night and can move more, because a horse needs to move to digest properly, to have a proper metabolism, and to keep muscle. Otherwise, it's very difficult.
So the system is a little bit different than Europe?
Not really. We have in Europe the same problem, that in bigger stables the turnout is becoming more difficult. You have to have big fields to turn them out, and then it's not always easy also in groups because there is not the space. So we are facing a little bit the same problems, but I would say here is a little bit more difficult because we have a very extreme climate. I cannot keep a horse outside during the day in the sun. But I see many people here who are even offering the horses now. I saw stables where they offer basically an in and out system where the horses can choose whether they go inside in the shade, and there's often also AC or water AC or systems, or they go outside under a shaded place. So basically they are really trying to improve this situation for the horses.
Ms. Astrid, thank you for being here with us, and good morning, Kuwait.
Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, dear viewers, we will have a quick break and we will be right back.